they talking real loud. Spreading no lie, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading no lie, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power.
Nobody knows why liars lie. Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. It's God's side and the other side.
Country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good. Okay, bitch, and look like Mr. Potato Head.
I didn't want to be a movie star.
No, you couldn't be a movie star. Ricky Smiley can't act. Cause Ricky Smiley can't act. Why is he in a dress again? He didn't be wanting to Barbie. And you gotta tell him no. Said ain't got no special, you remember. Eve ain't got no special, you remember. Ricky ain't got no special, you remember. Sir, I have 12 comedy specials. If you Diddy or whoever you is, TVJ, 20 of them. I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. Rubble on top of rubble, and I'll still be bombing. Look like a wall, Richard. Look like a wall. You didn't say no. Look like a wall, Richard. Look like a wall. You didn't say no.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. All right. This is your daily vitamins, honey. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor. All right. From 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
You can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, honey. It is with sad news, okay, and a heavy heart that I have to report to you guys that Dr. Umar is having financial distress. Okay, please pay attention. Dr. Umar is having financial distress, y'all, and he needs them coins. So let's get into it. Now, before I get started, before I get started on the Prince of Pan-Africanism, let me just remind my moderators of one thing. Moderators, it has come to my attention that some of you, and I won't name any names, have been timing people out, okay, in the chat when they disagree with my talking points. Now, let me say this. On here, on this channel, we welcome contrary views and opinions. People don't have to agree with me and my opinion, okay? So please, please, please do not time people out, ban them from the channel because they disagree. Now, if somebody is being vulgar, disrespectful, using and spewing profanities, saying anything racially charged, okay, about any race, then, okay, then, and only then, should you time them out, or if they're spamming the chat and you've already asked them nicely to stop, and they continue, okay, then you can time people out. And only time people out for 3 minutes, okay? Please don't be timing people out, okay, for 8,600 seconds or whatever, how much time they give y'all. I know they added it for a whole day and all that. Please don't do that. Okay, please do not do that just because somebody disagreed with the queen. People do not have to agree with me, okay? We can have open dialogue on here and people can say what they feel. They can voice their opinions even if they're contrary to mine. I'm not one of those people who's a narcissist who can't stand criticism or correction, or who gets upset because people don't agree with me. People don't have to agree with me. And I've told you all that a myriad of times. So please, let's not do that. Okay? Moderators, I'm talking to you. All right. So, and also, Desmond is the chief moderator. So if you're doing any of those things in the chat and Desmond sees it and says something to you, please pay attention because that's the chief moderator. Like, he's in charge of all the moderators. Okay? Let's talk about that. Now that we got that cleared, let's talk about it, honey, because Dr. Umar said he needs them coins real quick. Y'all need to run him his money, honey, okay? Let's get into it. I'm going to the video. Dr. Umar's in dire straits, y'all. Please pay attention. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you kindly in advance. Okay, so I'm going to share this on the screen. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, Dr. Umar, all right, himself. Now, I'm going to use an overlay because I don't want any smoke, okay? That's what I don't want. I don't want any smoke. Hold on. Why did this not share on the screen? Hold on, you guys. Okay, here we go. Let me put my overlay on here, and I'm going to put a little music in the background too, because I'm going to be showing several videos, okay? Several videos during this broadcast. Now, I don't want any copyright issues. Okay, here we go.
In Pan-Africanism, this is your big brother, Dr. Umar Ifa Tunde Oguntade, coming to you live and direct from Philadelphia. I have a very important message. I'm only going to keep you about 5 minutes. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple of dollars. This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple of dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th, only to discover that I could not log into my account. So then I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account. So then I called the bank, and the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part, but I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access to my personal account and the FDMG account. I was told that someone has been trying to gain access into my personal account and the FDMG account. Brothers and sisters, if you have sent a donation to FDMG, let's give it until the end of the month to see if this gets cleared up. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. They have given me no definitive timeline as to when their investigation will conclude. If you have sent a check or money order donation to FDMG, let's wait until August the 1st, Black August, and see if this situation has gotten cleared up. They told me they sent me a letter to this point on July the 10th, the day that I left for South Africa. I was told that the timeline of suspicious activity was June 25th to July the 10th. I was told that the timeline for suspicious activity was between June 25th, that's when Ahmadiyyah went public. That's when Ahmadiyyah went public. Everybody knows who Ahmadiyyah is. July 25th, that's when Ahmadiyyah went public. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. July the 10th, that's when I left for South Africa. So y'all know my
Hey, listen up. Are you a real estate investor or considering starting investing in real estate?
I believe Ahmadiyyah and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested because fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is federal offense. Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense. Again, June 25th to July 10th is the period of suspicious activity. That is from the time Ahmadiyyah went public and I left for South Africa. Between the time Ahmadiyyah went public and I went for South Africa. So brothers and sisters, if you want to make a donation to FDMG, you must send it to PayPal. Hold off on the checks and money orders until the situation is resolved. Hold off on all FDMG Academy money order and check donations until the situation is resolved. If you want to make a donation to FDMG, send it through PayPal. Right? PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. If you want to make a donation to the school, hold off on checks and money orders until we find out what the hell is going on. The bank is investigating the fraudulent attempts on our account. If I find out Ahmadiyyah and Pastor Bussy had anything to do with this, I was told that they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. I was told they can be arrested for federal offense. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary. So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/UMARTHEPSYCHOLOGIST, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project.
Dr. Umar, please sit down somewhere at this point. Okay, now I've never gone in on Dr. Umar. I've never said anything negative about Dr. Umar. And in fact, I've given him the benefit of the doubt. I've given him the benefit of the doubt, even though I know a grift when I hear and see one. Now, the fact that Dr. Umar has been at this point collecting these donations for this school for 13 years, and that school still isn't open. And here's the thing. He's talking about the bank accounts have been frozen. Well, my question is, why would they freeze both the personal and the business account? Because he's claiming that Ahmadiyyah and Pastor Bussy may have tried to access his accounts. Well, the question is, where did they get the information to try to access his accounts? Both of them. And then he said, and I wrote it down just so I didn't forget. He said that it's the period between June 25th and July the 10th. And then they said they reached out to him and he didn't find out anything about this until he tried to access his account on July the 10th. Oh, no. I'm sorry. They supposedly tried to reach out to him on July the 10th. Okay. And he didn't receive the word, I guess. And now he posted that video about a day or two ago. So that means that from July the 10th until a day or two ago, which is 2 weeks, he didn't try to access his own account. He didn't try to access his own account until the friend who needed coins, who needed a couple of dollars, until that person called him. That's when he tried to access. So he didn't use his debit card. And then he said he was over there in Africa, right? From June the 25th to July the 10th. So the whole time he was over there, he didn't try to use his card. Here's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like to me that either the IRS has frozen his accounts, because didn't they tell him about a year or so ago, if memory serves me correct, because I remember reporting on it, but didn't they supposedly allegedly tell him not to continue collecting money for that school because he was not being transparent about where the donations were going, but yet he's still asking for donations for that school? Maybe that's why. Or maybe while he was over there in Africa, it looked like fraudulent activity because he's all the way over in Africa using his accounts and debit cards. So maybe that's why they froze it. And then when they couldn't get in touch with him, that could be the reason. But then if that were the case, then it would seem that he wouldn't have been able to continue using the accounts while in Africa. So that's probably not it. But here's what Pocket Watching from JT had to say about it all. And this is where it all made sense to the queen. This is probably exactly what all went down. Okay, I'm going to share a couple of his receipts on the screen. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Dr. Umar, this is not looking good for you, beloved. I hope the IRS is not coming after you, but after what I saw Pocket Watch with JT posted, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I hate it if it is true. I hope it isn't. Okay, but that's what it's sounding like. Now see this here? So Pocket Watching with JT went and looked up and brought facts and receipts of the income taxes filed on his nonprofit, that school, okay, from starting at 2020. Okay, so let's listen to what he had to say about it. This is all a hot mess, Dr. Umar. What have you gotten yourself into? Okay, the grift dies here, Dr. Umar. That's what it sounds like, beloved. Sounds like the grift literally dies here, okay?
this man and his organization has filed with the IRS. I have the 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and the most recent 2024 tax returns. According to each and every tax return for the past 5 years, his organization has collected over $400,000, $405,913 in donations. Now, here's the thing that's a little bit odd. 2 out of the 5 years, this man is claiming that he collected absolutely no money in donations. So in 2020, this man claims he did not collect 1 penny in donations. And in 2022, this man is claiming he accepted or collected absolutely no money in donations. Now that seems extremely odd for a man who posts videos online like this.
Donations, 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 gifts, 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 more gifts, more gifts.
It's extremely hard to believe that this man was able to go a full year, 365 straight days, without getting 1 penny in a donation for tax year 2020 and for tax year 2022. All right, now let's dig into the expenses. Where is the money going? Now, according to his financial reports, he is claiming that over a 5-year period, he spent a total of $71,412 in expenses. Now, that sounds good if you're trying to make money, but the problem is this. Over that 5-year period, he is claiming that every one of those dollars was spent in only one tax year, 2021. So you're telling me in 2020, 2022, 2023, and 2024, you spent absolutely nothing in business expenses. So no utilities, no repairs, nothing in 4 out of the 5 years of the organization. In your words, that sounds a little bit...
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Another thing that seems a bit odd is the fact that over that 5-year period, each and every year, Dr. Umar Johnson is described as the executive director of the organization and claims that he works 60-hour weeks every single week out of the year over a 5-year period, but yet he claims absolutely nothing in compensation. He gets paid nothing for all that hard work. All right, so now let's
Now, first off, what also doesn't make any sense is that he initially said in the video that, in fact, they got rid of his account. That's what he said the account didn't exist. He said that he tried to access his account and they told him at his bank that he's been with since he was a teenager. He said they told him that the account didn't exist. So how did they go from telling him that the account doesn't exist to telling him that, wait a minute, sir, there's fraud on both of these accounts, so we froze them? You see how the story's not adding up? And then the fact that he claims that he didn't find out about this until just a day or two ago when his friend asked to borrow money, but supposedly the account's been frozen since July the 10th. So he didn't use his debit cards in 2 weeks. He had that much cash on him that he didn't need to use debit cards for 2 weeks. He doesn't have any bills that are automatically debited from his account that didn't go through. No payments for anything. That just is not adding up, Dr. Umar. I'm sorry, beloved, but it's not. It's giving lies. Okay, it's giving lies.
Dive deep into these numbers and see what the story says. So based on the information provided by Dr. Umar and his tax filings, FDMG had a cash balance at the beginning of 2020 in the amount of $518,048. Pretty good. Over $500,000 in cash at the beginning of 2020. But by the end of 2024, its cash balance was $56,162. So that means during that 5-year period, the cash of this organization decreased by $461,886. But it gets worse because we actually have to do the math on the profit and loss of each year. Based on the information that's provided in the tax returns, the organization actually had a positive cash flow of $330,501. That means the organization made money over that 5-year period. So when we actually run the numbers, that's a discrepancy of actually over $792,000.
I have a storage problem.
Okay, y'all. Y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? I think we've pretty much heard enough. Okay. I think we have heard just about enough. Shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. Y'all hear that? That's what the problem is, Dr. Umar. The IRS got their foot on your neck. That's what it sounds like, because look, if JT would Pocket Watch with JT can find that information by pulling his tax returns for the nonprofit, you don't think the IRS has already looked into it? And being the fact that they supposedly sent him that letter telling him to stop collecting donations for that nonprofit, i.e. the school, and he's still doing so, of course they're looking at him. And here's the thing. It could be that one of his exes who's been out here exposing him as of late, it could be that one of them tipped the IRS off, for all we know. Okay? But somebody asked who's Ahmadiyyah, so let's go to who Ahmadiyyah is, because this is who he's talking about. Like, so everyone please like and share. She did an interview with Storm Monroe. Now, again, I'm going to use an overlay, and shout out to Storm Monroe and Pocket Watcher with JT. I'm using these people's videos without any consent. Hope they don't get mad. Okay, so anyway, now this is the lady right here that he's calling Ahmadiyyah.
So let's get into, we're gonna get right back to that. But first, I want to ask you this: from the time you met him in person, December 3rd, 2023, how long before you guys start a relationship after that?
I lost him. I lost you for a minute. Say it again.
Okay, once you met him December 3rd, 2023, how long after that did you guys start a relationship?
Okay, so we talked for a minute. So December, I texted him initially March 21st, 2023. Okay. He hit me on October-ish to do the event. November, wait a minute, it was November. By December, because we had less than 30 days. By December, we did the event. That night, he asked me to go to his room. I declined. I was still trying to figure out if I wanted to deal with him. And let's see. My first flight out there was March, the next year, March 6th, 5th or 6th.
Okay, so, you flew out to see him.
Yes.
Got you. Okay, so let's just get it out the way. Was he a good lover at all?
I'm sorry, but I don't need to know about any of that, okay? I don't need to know about any of that, okay? I don't need to know about any of that, right? Whether he was a good lover and all that, honey. Ahmadiyyah need to keep that to herself as far as I'm concerned. Here's the thing I'll say about that. Now, that lady whom he affectionately calls Ahmadiyyah, to me, that lady at her big age should be not out here telling her business of what happened in her bedroom, because that's what she was doing. Now, she sounds bitter and mad to me for her to be sitting there talking about Dr. Umar and saying his house was dirty and this, that, and the third, and talking about their sex life. Lady, you're too old for that. We expect the youngins to do that kind of stuff, okay? So she was clout chasing, clearly, as far as I'm concerned. Even if she was telling the truth, she was still clout chasing, in my opinion. Okay, she was just clout chasing, in my opinion. Now, with that all being said, she should have kept that to herself. But the fact of the matter is, Dr. Umar, you know, I really think that the IRS is on his heels at this point. Okay, that's what I think is going on with Dr. Umar. And sadly, his subscribers are not going to be able to dig him out of this hole that he's now in. When they told him to stop collecting that money, he should have done just that. Okay, and whoever filed his taxes, you can see all the discrepancies. So he should have gotten somebody that knew exactly what they were doing, because it's giving fraud. Okay, it's giving fraud. That's all I'm saying. So the IRS is probably on his heels. I feel bad for him if that's the case, because, honey, I don't wish that on anybody. But alas, that's what it looks like. And he's out here begging for money and all that stuff, honey. That's not going to work. And then he said, I never asked y'all for nothing except for donations. That's asking for something. And then how do the people even know that he used the donations for what he said he was going to use them for? Because the school still isn't open. It's been 13 years. Okay, some people say it's been 10 years, but no, it was 10 years, 3 years ago. Okay? So this is all crazy at the end of the day. Dr. Umar, I wish you luck, beloved. Okay, I wish you the best of luck, because this sounds like a whole big problem that you really didn't need. Okay, so now let's talk about Gene Deal. Let's talk about Gene Deal, honey, because they got people out here doing videos about Gene Deal going in on Sean G for what? See, here's the thing. Here is the thing. People out here mad. Hold on. I'm gonna do a reaction to some of these videos, okay? To some of these videos about Gene Deal and Sean G. Here's the thing. I met Sean G at Diddy's trial, and I like him. He's a stand-up guy, okay? And he was giving honest, unbiased commentary about the Diddy trial, and he was speaking the truth of what actually happened inside the courtroom. Okay, a lot of us were doing that. Some people were lying. Okay, one person in particular. Okay, I don't have to name names. I think at this point, we all know who it is. After a myriad of videos have been done about this person lying. So with that all being said, just remember, birds of a feather flock together. So with that being said, here's the thing. Some of these people who've been going around telling all these lies on Diddy and saying all this stuff about Diddy, that stuff didn't come to fruition. So now they're mad. And so what they want to do is call out the people who are telling the truth about what actually went on in the courtroom and who are just giving their opinion about the truth of the matter. And so now they're mad. So now they want to start attacking people. I want you all to pay attention. See, it's only the people who lied in the first place that are upset about the Diddy verdict, because that stops their cash flow. These people that have been going around on these platforms telling all these lies, and some of the things they may have said may have been true, but at the end of the day, a whole lot of it was lies and BS. And see, that's why I don't pay for interviews, because here's what happens. If I haven't told you all this before, let me just tell you now. What happens is, this is why you should never pay for interviews, people. Okay, I don't give a darn how desperate you are to have the person on your platform, because here's why. People who go around doing these interviews that are charging money, here's what happens. Here's what happens. They go around, they may have some stories about Diddy, the music industry, or whatever, and then you pay them, different people pay them for their stories, right? So let's say if they have 10 stories, 10 different stories that happen over a span of 10 years. And they tell all those stories multiple times on multiple platforms, and they're paid multiple times, thousands of dollars to tell said stories. What happens after they've told all those stories and everybody's heard them by now because they've been on multiple platforms telling the same stories? Well, they've gotten used to the money and they want to keep the money coming in. So now they start making up stories. That's what happens. Now they start embellishing, and now they just start sometimes blatantly making up lies. Okay? When you pay somebody for an interview, you don't think that gives them incentive to tell a lie? Of course it does. Because they want the story to be juicy and ever so salacious so that you ask them to come back and so that other people pay them also to tell those stories. That's what happens. And as far as I'm concerned, ethical people who conduct interviews don't pay for them. That's what you don't do. Okay, that's what you don't do at the end of the day. And the bottom line is, this all sounds like a whole lot of hating. Because why are you going in on Sean G? What did Sean G ever do or say about you? Besides nothing. You're going in on this man because he's telling the truth of what happened in court, and he was there. He may have missed a few days, but he was actually there in the courtroom. Now, I only saw Gene Deal there twice. Okay, and both times he was in the overflow room, okay, for about 15 to 20 minutes. But I did see him doing some lives acting as though he was there for the whole time and just getting like he's giving all this information from a bird's eye view. Okay, that's what I saw. It was giving clout chase as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's go to this first video. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. Now, this beautiful lady here, I didn't ever hear of her channel until today. Her name is Sister Sice. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but shout out to her. This is the first person that I saw doing a video about all of this. Okay. Oh, Nicole, thank you so much, beloved. Nicole has gifted 5 memberships to the Queen's channel. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, you all be sure to shout Nicole out, okay? She's gifted memberships to the channel. Now, with that being said, this lady here was talking about what is going on with Sean G and Gene Deal. So let me put an overlay on here. And let's hear what she has to say.
Sister Sice here. What is Gene Deal attacking vloggers for? Today we're going to talk about the podcast with Soul, Sean G, and Gene Deal. Okay, now he was in Diddy's life during the Biggie, when Biggie was with Diddy. So he has a lot of stories about that, and they are very interesting. And I was liking those stories when he would talk about those stories and that whole night of when Biggie was okay. And that's a sad story. And he doesn't lie. He stands on his business with that. But then when he starts slamming Diddy based on hearsay, I don't know. I'm more of a factual person. I really like facts. I'm like, dude, you weren't even working for Diddy. So how are you just supposing all these stories? But it is what it is. And I mean, this is what we all do anyway on our channels, right? We all hear information and we share it. I do the same thing, entertainment news. But if I'm going to be talking about somebody, I want to make sure that I have my facts right. And one of the things that he has said recently, I feel was a slap upside a vlogger's head that was unnecessary. Sean G, podcast with Soul. One of the very
Hold on, beloveds. Let me just pause for a second because for some reason my chat is not moving on the computer. So, but I'm looking at it on my phone. Okay. And so I want to say thank you, Alejandro, for your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. I think the chat on the computer is running behind or something. Okay. So, but thank you, beloved. I see you sent a donation. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. Now let's continue.
Very few vloggers that was giving the inside information from the overflow courtroom day after day. I mean, this guy, Sean G, only missed about maybe 4 or 5 days of all those weeks of testimony when Diddy was during Diddy's trial. Now, Sean G, you know, he's a supporter of Diddy. So if you're not, then I understand. All I'm saying is this: facts are facts. And there were certain things that other vloggers were coming out of the courtroom saying that wasn't true. It just wasn't true. And us on the outside, I live in the Dominican Republic. I wasn't in New York. I'm from Canada. I wasn't in Canada. I was here in the Dominican Republic looking forward and anxiously waiting each day during break time, like lunchtime, break time, and after court to watch Armand Wiggins. And then I started to watch a lot of conversations with Jay. I started to watch.
All right, y'all heard that. Both of my friends, Armand and Jay. Okay, so shout out to Easy7700, beloved, for your donation to the channel. Okay, I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Honey, this chat is not moving on the computer. Okay, good thing I have my phone out. But thank you, beloved. I appreciate your donation. Peace, love, and blessings.
Watch Trent Out Loud, and I also started to watch a lot of the podcast with Soul. And the reason why was because I felt that these vloggers, they were not biased. They were just giving the information, even though they could have been supporting or not supporting. And one of the things that really triggered my memory about podcasts with Soul was when it came to the closing arguments, and he's like, yeah, man, like, you know, yeah, Diddy, it seems like there may be some problems. He didn't come out lying. You know, he came out telling the truth. He came out telling us how each lawyer presented their case. And I really liked that. And so much so that I actually, I'm going to show you guys what I got in here. I went on his website and his book. It is volume 1. Here we go. Astigmatism in My Soul. And he also has there the nutrition facts on the front because he does a lot of calisthenics on his channel. He works out a lot, which maybe Gene Deal, you should try to do. But yet, Gene Deal, you call the guy a clown. Gene Deal, this is not what you're supposed to be doing as a person that's supposed to be representing. You were a bodyguard, but you are also a person who was in law enforcement. So maybe that's what you're trying to do, enforce right now. But you don't have the power to do that on YouTube. None of us do. And if we can't support someone on YouTube, then, you know, and we have reason to put them down because their facts are not right, then yeah, maybe we can do that. But you don't need to put someone down because you don't agree with them.
That's right.
I know that there's one vlogger right now who's putting down another vlogger because her facts are not straight and she does a lot of clickbait titles. And it's just not cool. You know, she said that Diddy's trying to escape from jail. She said that Diddy's going bankrupt. She said,
y'all know exactly who she's talking about. Y'all know exactly who she's talking about. Everybody's calling her out on her lies, honey. Please pay attention. But everybody's hating. Let her people tell it.
all this stuff like Diddy's a Fed, and she always says these things. And she recently even said that Trump is giving immunity to Ghislaine Maxwell. And that's not true. It's not true at all. It's the DOJ that's doing that. So a lot of her facts are not always factual. Sometimes she picks things out of the air, and I'm not going to say her name because actually, you know, I did watch her videos for a long time. But there's another vlogger who literally puts her on the hot seat a lot of the times. And it's only because her facts are not straight. And I understand that he would do that. But Gene Deal, I don't understand why you would call somebody a clown when they are reporting facts. Why? Why pick on a vlogger? And you picked on the wrong person. I'll tell you
why he would do it. Because the facts don't align with his lies. That's why. Okay, like I told you all these people who are mad, okay, the vlogger she's talking about who tells all these lies, all right, a Gene Deal. These people are upset because the narratives that they've been painting and pushing have been proven to be lies. If Gene Deal was such an authority on all things Diddy, and he's worked with law enforcement and all of that, you would think that they would have called him to testify. Okay? You would think that they would have called him to testify because he has so much inside scoop, right? He used to work with law enforcement, right? So that should make him credible as far as the prosecution would be concerned, I would think. So why didn't they call him to testify? How come some of the things that he said, or all these things that he said, none of that was proven in court? How come Diddy has been brought up on charges for some of the things he's alleged? Okay, please make it all make sense. And it sounds like a whole lot of hating going on. It sounds like he's hating on Sean G and mad because this man's truth is debunking his outright lies.
Tell you that much right now, because this man right here, he really does have soul. This man right here puts a lot of work into what he believes in, and he is very well loved. If you don't love him, you still watch him. And I bet you're one of those people that have one of those fake accounts that go onto his account and say negative things about him when he's doing his lives. You know, that's what people need to, in my opinion, stop doing. As a soul coach, I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm trying to tell people what they can do in order to be just better in life. And when I hear that someone like Gene Deal, who is, listen, I'm overweight, so I'm not going to fat shame here, but you're overweight, man. You're all hunched over when you're walking. I saw the videos of you coming out the courtroom, and you just look like you're very uncomfortable in your own skin. Shouldn't be calling anyone clowns. Clowns are usually the fat ones. And not only that, you shouldn't be putting anybody else down. You don't want your information to come out. You don't want to be that person on YouTube that just makes views because you're putting down other people, man. You were so respected before the Diddy trial because you were giving real information about Biggie. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Even Diddy has been released from having any dealings with the Tupac situation. Okay? So they're clearing Diddy's name slowly. You know, Keefe D is in jail right now, and Diddy's name was being spoken about to have to give some type of testimony of some kind, but they have cleared his name and he no longer has to. Slowly. And no one is saying that Diddy is perfect. This video is not about Diddy only, but what I am concerned about is Gene Deal, a full-grown man, going on the internet and putting down another vlogger who just brought the facts out, and it doesn't make anybody a clown. I'm going to read this book right here.
Okay, y'all support Sean G and his book, okay? Sean G is a good person, stand-up guy as far as I'm concerned. Gene Deal had the nerve to do a video talking about he's a cop and Sean G's a con or something like that, the cop versus the con. Sir, the fact that you boldly talk about being a cop as if black people trust them makes you look like a clown your damn self, okay? And that's facts on facts on facts. Okay, now, Greg Original says, why y'all can't tell this is all distraction and F Diddy, modern day slaves tripping? Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's not a distraction, because if it were, we wouldn't be talking about it, okay? The only one distracted is likely you. And at the end of the day, you probably have a problem with Diddy. So if you do, why are you here? Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and ban you because you were disrespectful to call us modern day slaves. Okay, sounds like you might be the slave, sir. Mentally enslaved, okay? Okay, don't get mad at us because our opinion doesn't align with yours. Okay? Don't get mad, all right? Don't get mad, sir, because our opinions don't align with yours. Okay, now he's gonna come here being disrespectful, calling us modern day slaves? No, sir, you're the modern day slave. Okay, that's why you're stupid. All right, that's why you're stupid. Because if you're sitting up here thinking that these people who've told all these lies that have been debunked, mind you, and you're still believing the lies, sir, you are mentally enslaved, not us. All right, please pay attention. Real Truth says, left my ass off. We love the Reed Queen. Thank you, beloved, okay? I mean, Andre Davis called Gene Deal the hunchback of... He called him the hunchback of Harlem. That was pure gold. Okay, not the hunchback of Harlem. I am so done. I am absolutely done. But now, mind you, so since Gene Deal went in on Sean G, don't think that that Sean G didn't have a response. Okay? I don't think he has a response. This is all a hot mess, as far as I'm concerned. I want y'all to pay attention. Hold on. I'm still laughing about the Hunchback of Harlem. And see, this is what happens when you come at people for no reason. Okay, and I want you all to pay attention because birds of a feather really flock together. Okay? Birds of a feather flock together. All right? That's what happens. You see the YouTubers who tell the truth. You see how they all deal with each other. You see how they go on panels together. You see how they're all friends. And so do the ones that lie. Okay, Gene Deal loves Tisa Tales. And Tisa Tales loves Gene Deal. That's because they're both liars. Okay, that's because they're both liars. And that's why they're both mad and butthurt and bent out of shape. Because Diddy got off on the RICO and the S-trafficking charges. Okay, because that just debunked all the bullshit they were spewing. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's go to Sean G's video. Okay? And y'all know I don't give a damn who gets mad at the queen, because just as well as they think they can go in, I promise you I can do it better. Okay, don't come for me unless I send for you. That's how that goes. Now let's get into it.
Welcome to the podcast. So, Sean G, Saturday, June 26th. Saturday, July 26th. Please share this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, you can give it a thumbs down. Do whatever you feel. Want to give a shout out to all of my subscribers. Welcome any new subscribers. I was called out by Gene Deal, and we're gonna deal with that.
Because they trying to mislead the people. They trying to mislead the kids. They trying to mislead the people. And this is why I do what I do. Listen to this shit right here, y'all. Listen to this shit right here. Did y'all see this?
I went from irregular eating, fatigue, and the gym 6 times a week to healthy eating habits, productive days, and the gym.
Remember I told you they was gonna pay niggas and they was gonna do niggas, have niggas do all kind of crazy shit. Listen to this dumb shit.
It ain't no more competition. It ain't no more talk. Puffy is the king of New York.
So, Gene Deal, number one, I don't know you and you don't know me. And why you would come for me, I have the slightest idea. But I got some more footage that we're going to get into to talk about why. Now, you said that you don't want to mislead the people, you don't want to mislead the kids. And that's exactly what you've done for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, however many years you've had your channel, where you have slandered, you've engaged in libel, you've engaged in defamation, you've engaged in reputational harm of Puff, and you've engaged in economic harm of Puff. And I think you're going to be held accountable one day in civil court, but that's between you and Puff. Number one, right off the bat, fat nigga, I don't know Puff, right? I've never met Puffy a day in my life, and nobody's paid me anything. So here you go misleading the people again.
Yeah, now let me just tell you all something else. Let me piggyback off of that. So supposedly Gene is trying to say that Sean G's been paid by Diddy to say what he's saying. I find it very interesting that people who weren't even at court are sitting up here trying to act like people who are just telling the truth, who've been reading the transcripts, who've been taking notes inside the court and reporting exactly what happened as it happened. That they're trying to say that we were paid just because we don't go along with our narrative. I want y'all to pay attention, because the people that were paid were people like Gene Deal to go around from platform to platform and spread lies and misinformation and embellish on the stories that actually had a little bit of truth to it. Okay, that's how that goes. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. It's just like when fake Nancy Drew came out and said that some of us were paid $60,000 to say stuff that Diddy's people wanted us to say out of the transcripts. If you say anything out of the transcripts, it's the truth. Talking about stuff was highlighted. And I showed you all the transcripts that I got from Diddy's publicist, and there was nothing highlighted. Okay, I got all the transcripts. And then sat up there and lied and told her people that the transcripts cost $15,000 to $2,000. That was just to discourage them from actually reading them. Because if they actually read the transcripts, they know that she's a liar who lied. Okay, so that's all that is, just running game, spewing false narratives. I challenge her to send the transcripts out to her people. I challenge her to get online and read the transcripts. She won't do that. Neither will Gene Deal. So that's how you know who's lying. Okay, that's how you know who's lying. If you want me to read the transcripts, let me know, because I will gladly read them. And if you want the transcripts, let me know, because I will definitely send them to you. And then we can see who's lying and who's misleading the kids. Okay, because these people who have been lying and now their lies are falling apart because it didn't go the way they projected, now they're mad. And so they want to make the truth speakers look like liars, but it ain't gonna work. Okay, it's not gonna work because their grip is dying. Please pay attention.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, Gene Deal? Nothing of what you have said on your channel or anybody else's platform for that matter over the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, however many years you've been
Hold on. I have to read this comment. Somebody called Gene Deal a pork butt. And then AJ Matthews says, not the pork butt. I'm about to cook one of those in my smoker this weekend too. I might change my mind now.
Engaged in this reputational destruction of Puff. Nothing of what you said came to pass at the trial, fat boy.
Not fat boy.
I was at the trial every day, but 5 days in the courtroom, 24th floor, the overflow. You came in the overflow. I saw you maybe 2 times in the overflow, maybe.
It's okay to admit it. We experience dryness. Luckily, we have personal lubricants to keep things.
And you didn't stay for the whole day. You would come and sit down 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you would get up and leave. You would take no notes. Gene Deal, I've never seen you once on your channel or any of these other platforms that are allowing you to come on there and malign Puff and make malicious, deliberate, intentional, false statements in order to cause reputational harm to Puff, economic harm to Puff, engage in slander, libel, and defamation of character. And those YouTube channels that are allowing you to do that, they will be held accountable too. Nothing of what you said came out at the trial. Not nothing. Nothing of what you said.
Yeah, and that's why he's mad. And that's why he's mad, okay? These people need to sit down somewhere, honey. It's the liars. I want y'all to pay attention. It's literally the liars versus the truth tellers out here in these YouTube streets. Now, some of y'all gonna love to listen to the liars because at the end of the day, lies tend to sound more juicy and salacious than the truth, okay? Like Oprah says, sometimes the truth is boring. But at the end of the day, what you're gonna get on this channel is the truth, period, okay? And what you're gonna get on Sean G's channel is the truth, period. Conversations with Jay, Armand Wiggins. You're going to get the truth on those channels. There's people who's going to be out here telling lies just to be lying at the end of the day, because that's what they do. That's how they get their clicks and views. Okay, so believe at your own risk or your own peril. Okay, I'm saying at the end of the day, honey, this is all a hot mess. Measure Man said, I love Sean G. Choke no joke be eating Gene Deal up. He's roasting him right now. Okay, and also Measure Man, thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved. My chat is still moving slow, but I see that you sent a contribution and you said that is why he was with Jag on the funky blue on the funky blue couch and told people years ago said, I told people years ago he was lying. What kids? Exactly, what kids? Because there wasn't nothing about that in court, and they were trying to give Diddy a life sentence. So I'm sure that if they had any information about him doing something to kids, or him having to do anything to do with Tupac or Biggie's death or Kim Porter, that they would have brought all of that out. Okay. So I'm sorry. At the end of the day, it sounds like urban legends and conspiracy theories. Oh, there it is. Now my chat's moving. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, this is all a hot arse mess. Okay, I'm gonna go to one more video before I'm out of here because this is all messy. This is all real messy. Okay. AJ Matthews said, I bet that couch stinks. Y'all are something else. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this video. This is another video of Sean G responding. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And then the nerve of Gene to call him a con. Okay, he's gonna call this man a con. Does he think that's gonna discredit him? Okay, because he used to be a probation officer or whatnot and work with the law enforcement. Okay, is that what he thinks that's going to do? Talking about this man for no reason. This man didn't do anything to him, didn't say anything about him until he struck blood first. Okay, that's how that went.
Check this out.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to...
I got some I can help you with. Sean G, Podcast with Soul. It don't never stop. You can follow me on the Podcast with Soul on Instagram, the Podcast with Soul on Spotify, the Podcast with Soul on YouTube, the Podcast with Soul on TikTok. Check out this next clip. Peace. All right, y'all. So now I'm going to show you the Gene Deal diet that you got to stay away from unless you want to, look like Gene Deal, have type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, clogged arteries and all of that. What's up, man? What's going on, man? See, you got to stay away from this. Hey, Gene, you got to stay away from this right here. You see what I'm saying? You got to stay away from this right here. This all you. Look at that. This the Gene Deal diet. The Gene Deal diet right here. Check them out, y'all. Look at Gene Deal. Goddamn packs of, and this is the one he get, the share size, the big pack. And look, he'll come here and he'll buy all these right here. He'll come here and buy all them and take them home and smash them back to back.
Y'all heard that, okay? At the end of the day, I want y'all to pay attention. So, like I said, it makes no sense to be sitting up here hating on this man for simply telling the truth because you don't like what he's saying. If you don't like what somebody's saying, just don't tune in. Just don't watch. But how dare you try to go in on somebody and call them out and call them names just because they're telling the truth and your ass has been sitting up here lying all this time. And now the truth has come out. Okay? If you want to go in on Sean G, you might have a whole bunch of people you need to go in on at the end of the day. And here's the thing. Here's the thing too. And then let me just show you all something about somebody calling somebody a clown. First of all, how can somebody who's big and hunched over and overweight, got bad knees and all of that, how could you talk about somebody who looks like this and call them a clown? Please pay attention. Say what now? Who's the
Look
clown?
at how pretty my skin is, though. I got a beautiful color, man. I got the dope color.
How you gonna call that damn man a clown? Please make yourself make sense, sir. Okay, that's all I'm saying. How you gonna call that man a clown? It look like he's in shape to me. Okay, he doesn't look like a clown at all. It doesn't sound like one. You sound like a clown when you talk trash about somebody because they're telling the truth and you feel like it's gonna debunk your lies. That's when you look and sound like a clown. You sound like a clown when you sit up there and try to besmirch somebody's character by calling them a con because you used to be a probation officer and work with law enforcement. Okay, that's clown behavior, especially when you're over 50 years old. Okay, I'm pretty sure Gene's over 60 at this point and still playing childish games. Please make it all make sense. All right, so anyway, with that all been said, honey, I'm about to be out of here. Hayo Bunyan said Gene Deal just like Fat Albert. Nicole said, do better, please. Okay, and it's not just me. There's other people doing videos dragging him for even trying to go in on Sean G. Because Sean G is a stand-up guy at the end of the day. He didn't tell any lies or paint any false narratives about anything that happened at that trial. Okay, he was there just like I was, just like many people were. And if you go back and watch the videos of the people that are telling the truth, we all said the same thing. We didn't have the same opinions. But at the end of the day, when it came to reading the notes that we took in court, we all said damn near the same thing verbatim. And if you take those notes and put them by the transcripts, you'll see that we gave you accurate and detailed notes about actually what was said and what happened in the courtroom. Now, if you go listen to other people who are out here telling whole lies and making up stuff, who were not even in the courtroom, they were standing outside doing lies for a whole hour while court was in session, but they want you to think that they know all the details. And as you can see how it turned out for them. Okay? So please pay attention. All I'm saying is, honey, it's a whole lot of lying going on. And it looks like out here in the YouTube streets, it's the liars versus the truth teller. Now, who's going to win depends on y'all. Do y'all want to hear the truth or do y'all want to continue to hear lies? Please pay attention. Okay? And notice, the only people that are mad are the liars. They're the ones mad. Okay? And then sitting there talking about people got paid $60,000. Let me tell you something. I wish I could have gotten $60,000 to read some damn transcripts, because the transcripts are the truth. Okay, I wish I could have gotten $60,000 to read transcripts. Okay, please sit down somewhere. Talking about people working for the defense. If we were working for the defense, we would have been able to just waltz in the courtroom just like this other person was. We wouldn't have had to stand outside and pay for line sitters or just stand out there at 2 o'clock in the morning until 7:45 when they decide to let us in. We wouldn't have had to do any of that. If we had VIP seats, like somebody had a VIP seat to the prosecution, okay, who fattened their pockets, allegedly. I just want y'all to pay attention. Anyway, with that all being said, Measure Man said, and the dry wigs, okay? Anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell. Click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right? Each one, teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time. Peace.
Sold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got